What's good, YouTube? It is the one and only Fourth and Goal, and I'm back again with another video. So as we all know, once the NFL season wraps up, a lot of players get released due to low production and salary cap reasons and a couple other reasons actually. And the thing is, for some players this is really bad because that's their last opportunity in the NFL to make a career. But for others this is really good because they can go to a championship caliber team or go to a team that needs a hidden piece and boost their value up and get a bigger payday, or just help this team go over that hump. And in today's video, we're going to go over 4 players that can make massive impacts if they go to the right team. Now, the first player we're going to talk about is Robert Woods. If you don't know Robert Woods, he was a Tennessee Titan, but once the season wrapped up, he was released due to salary cap reasons and things like that, and he sort of had a down year. Now, as you can see right here, he had 91 targets, 53 receptions. That's about 58% of balls being caught, 527 yards, and only 2 touchdowns. Now with Robert Woods, it's kind of hard to evaluate because again, he's coming off a really down year. In 2021, he was part of that Rams Super Bowl team, but he didn't play in the Super Bowl. I think he tore his ACL, I believe. But the thing with Robert Woods is he is a phenomenal run blocking receiver, and I think if he goes to the right team, his services will be much appreciated if he goes to the right team. Now the thing with the Titans is he was a pretty good run blocking receiver still, but receiving wise he just wasn't all that. And as you can see in his best game, in week 3, ironically versus his former team, he had 9 targets, 4 receptions, about 44%, and only 85 yards. In a win versus the Packers in week 11, he had 7 targets, 6 receptions, about 85%, 69 yards. In a loss versus the Jaguars, 7 targets, 5 receptions, that's about 71% of balls being caught, and only 49 yards. Now I think he can be a good run blocking receiver. He can be a decent second or third option on a team, and have really good leadership. And you really can't find leadership, veteran presence in a Super Bowl receiver like anywhere else. And I think Robert Woods can fill that role if the right team picks him up. I think the team like the Steelers, the Ravens, or even the Colts would use his services to his max. I genuinely believe those 3 teams could use him significantly really well. Now the next player we're going to talk about is Keanu Neal. Now Keanu Neal, he was a Falcon early on in his career. He reminds me so much of a Sean Taylor from the standpoint of hard hitting, a semi-decent run support, but at the same time he can play both linebacker and safety, and I think that gives him a lot of value still. I think that's why he's even in the NFL still, because he has a lot of injury problems, but when he's on the field he can be very versatile. Again, that safety and that linebacker. The linebacker standpoint, he's faster than most linebackers, and he's also have the power as a linebacker, hard hitting. Once he hits the gap one-on-one with a running back, he's bringing him down basically. Now as you can see right here, 63 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a half a sack, 1 interception, and 5 quarterback hits. Now again, nothing too special, but he added a lot of depth to both the Cowboys and the Buccaneers these last 2 seasons. Because if you don't know, when he was a Falcon, he tore his ACL twice back-to-back years, and that affected his career significantly. I mean, he has not been the same player. I think if he doesn't tear his ACL, he's going to be one of the league's best safeties, quite honestly. Even looking at his 3 best games, week 7 versus the Panthers, 4 total tackles. He had 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, and 1 quarterback hit. In week 14 versus the Niners, 6 total tackles and 1 tackle for loss. In week 9 versus the Rams, 10 total tackles. Again, these are not Harrison Smith. This is not Harrison Smith. This is not Jesse Bates or anybody like that, but I just think he can provide a lot of depth in the right system. Now the next player on the list, we have Kyle Van Noy. Now Kyle Van Noy, obviously he was a Patriot. He went to the Dolphins, I believe, and he goes to the Chargers. He provided a lot of depth to that defensive line. As you all know, they got the Bosa boy, they got Khalil Mack, and then they had Kyle Van Noy that went under the radar. Now as you can see right here, 46 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 3 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble. Really went under the radar this season, man. You did not hear his name too much. In his 3 best games versus Indy in Week 16, he had 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterback hits. In Week 17, one sack and 1 forced fumble. And in Week 14 versus Miami, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 quarterback hit. And the thing that makes him so special is, I think, his energy and the fact that he's been multiple Super Bowls. He's won multiple Super Bowls. And the thing is, versus the Jaguars, he provided a lot of really good playing time when Bosa was out or Khalil Mack was out. Calvin Noy was out there balling out of his freaking mind. And I just think, again, if he goes to a caliber team, he can bring that energy, veteran leadership, Super Bowl leadership, and things like that. And with him being pretty much out of his prime and going to his 30s, I think him on a flexible contract can be done. 1 or 2 years, a couple $1 million, like nothing too heavy that can hit the salary cap. And if you don't like his production, you can trade him. And honestly, you could pull Jamie Collins and go back to the Patriots and ball out and back in the Bill Belichick system. I'm just saying, it can happen. So Patriot fans, you can't get your boy Calvin Noy. That does rhyme, by the way. I'm a rapper. No, I'm just playing. Next player. Alrighty, so the last player, we got Leonard Fournette, man. If you don't know, Leonard Fournette is probably my second favorite player in the NFL after Carson Wentz. I fell in love with his game in 2017, his rookie year with the Jaguars. Leonard Fournette, he's actually one of the rare cases where I think his value has boosted up as a running back. As you can see, he had 189 attempts, 668 yards, about 3.5 yards to carry, 3 touchdowns. But where he's most valuable, I think, is in the passing game. 83 targets, 73 receptions, about 88 balls being caught, 523 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, the thing is, Leonard Fournette is not one of these slim down running backs. He is considered a power back in my eyes in today's modern NFL. And I think he can provide a lot of services to teams by being that third down and short running back. But at the same time, if it's third down and 6, for example, you run, him run a little route, he can do that. And he's still shifty. And again, he is a power back. He can break tackles. Truck boy still. And I just think Leonard Fournette can provide a lot of services. And again, sort of like Calvin Noy, he can be on a flexible contract because, again, I think a lot to do with that was Tom Brady. Tom Brady is running back friendly. So when we look at his best games in Week 1 versus Dallas, he had 21 attempts, 127 yards, about 6 yards per carry. In Week 15 versus the Cardinals, 20 attempts, 72 yards. He had 9 receptions out the backfield and 90 yards. Again, he's considered still a power back still. He's putting up 90 yards out the backfield in the passing game. And in Week 5 versus the Falcons, 14 attempts, 56 yards. He had 10 receptions and 83 yards and 2 total touchdowns. Whoever had him on fantasy was going crazy. But again, I just think if he goes to the right team, if he goes to a team like the Steelers, him and Najee Harris would be a really good duo. Najee can be the first down, second down running back, and then it's like 3rd and 2. You can use Leonard Fournette as that power back or run a little screen pass or him run a little flat route or something like that. Leonard Fournette can be that security blanket for a quarterback out the backfield, in my opinion. Or another team you can kind of consider are the Browns if they don't want to pay Kareem Hunt. I know Kareem Hunt is looking for some big money, so if you want to go with a cheaper option, you can go with Leonard Fournette, him and Nick Chubb. I don't see no problem with that duo again. Leonard Fournette, he can be that Kareem Hunt out the backfield, and I just think, he is one of the rare cases to where his value has actually boosted up after his first couple seasons. But hey, those are just my thoughts with the NFL Combine being here, man. I'm super excited. I seen those D-lines going crazy. Nolan Smith, I'm a Georgia fan, so I was going crazy for him. But all jokes aside, man, make sure you guys hit the like, comment, and subscribe. I am loving the interaction I'm having with you guys. I love the comments and all this stuff. We're at 20 subscribers. I love each and every one of y'all, man. Don't forget that. I'm being so serious, man. But this your boy 4th and Goal, and we are out, man. Peace.